proceedings, so lead us in prayer and a pledge immediately follow. Good evening, Father.
Good evening, Council. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, let us pray. Lord God, you are with us always. You care for all of our needs. In this week of thankfulness, we're especially thankful for all of your blessings. We thank you for our great nation, one like no other. We thank you for our United States, where we can enjoy life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. We ask you to bless at this time those involved in our city governance. Watch over them, care for them, help them in their decision making, help them in all their deliberations, and all that is for the good of the welfare of the many. We ask your blessings on all that we do as we thank you for all that you have given to us, that we may begin all things under your care, complete them through your grace, and always do your will. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Thank you, Father. You're welcome. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks again, Father. Appreciate that. Roll call.
Blankenship.
Here.
Clearing.
Here.
Harvey.
Here.
Vaughn.
Here.
O'Leary.
Here.
Chris.
Here. We have the approval of minutes before us from November 14th, 2019, and also the Finance Committee meeting of November 14th, 2019. Is there any corrections or deletions? Okay, back to audience participation. If anybody would like to address the city council this evening, ask you to please come to the podium, state your name and your address for the record. Mr. Stewart?
And I don't care when it is, but I just wanted to let you know that I went through the mayor today and invited Mike Timmerman to talk during audience participation, since this is my last meeting, and it was my idea about the $5 flood fee for the flood pump stations. I wanted Mike to come and give us an update about exactly where we're at with that, sometime during audience participation, whenever you want to recognize it.
If no one wants to come to the front, I think you're up, Mike.
I'll just stand right here. Our pump station 5, the switch gear is still on order, but we will have a date next week of when that can be installed. Now, the core people wants us to put together a contingency plan. When one of these stations that we have the motor out of it, we have to be able to make that up some way in either portable pumps. But yeah, Station 5 we should have a date when that switch gear is put in sometime next week.
The thing that I wanted to get a clear picture in my mind for our lead counsel is there's a time in flood season that the Corps will prohibit us from working on the flood pump stations. And that's approximately October to April,
Probably, yeah.
somewhere along those lines.
Probably August is the perfect month.
Yeah. So I guess my point is, are there other things we can be doing that fall under the umbrella of the $5 fee, while other things we can't do? Or is that money simply going to build, and we're going to be, everybody will have to recognize that there's going to be a large amount of money there, that there's only a short window each year that we can operate out of.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying, Jim. We have to, the Corps says, and these big pump stations, you know, if you take one of them out of out of operation, out of service, one of the pumps, it's only 75% efficiency then. And we gotta catch that window just right.
Yeah. And I'm not pressing for a date tonight. I'm just saying because I'm leaving, and it was my legislation, somehow I want the minutes to reflect tonight. Because I've always said there'll come a period of time when the $250,000 that it brings in every year, there'll come a time that we fixed everything, and that then it was always my intent for that fee to come off. And so I'm struggling to try to come up with some type of projection in the future, you know, and I know you're not gonna be able to answer this tonight, but I think it's important to have some kind of coordination going on that, well, we anticipate that in the year such and such, everything will be done. See what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely.
And I know you can't answer that tonight, but I just want the minutes, Marta, to somehow reflect that it's not as easy as saying $250,000 comes in this year and we'll spend it this year, and the same the next year, and the same the third year, and the same the fourth year. At some point in time, there's going to have to be a projection about how long it'll take us to accomplish the goal.
The north end pumps, we could probably do that and have our contingency plan where we have portable pumps set up, and that could take care of it while the rebuild's happening. But the bigger pumps on the south unit, that's just, you know, I would rather wait for that window before you do anything.
And Jim, we took and listed every pump station.
As a priority.
Yes, and we prioritized it. And then we listed every motor, every sluice gate, everything associated with that station. And so it is prioritized 1 through 10.
Yeah.
So the plan is at least there. It's just a matter of waiting for that season and being able to do it without putting the citizens at risk.
Yeah, I just want everybody to understand that it's not as simple as saying 10 pumps, 10 years.
Yes.
It might be 10 pumps, 15 years.
Absolutely.
And you want to do the one that holds the biggest threat of flooding. You'd love to have to do that one first. Whether it's Station 5, Station 10, Station 9, whichever pump station holds the biggest threat of flooding.
That's all.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. Katrina Keith, Mayor. Before I get into what I have to report, each of you have this before you. In our last meeting, I had stated that I would give you a list of things that's kind of looming out there, just so things don't fall into the cracks. So that is for your all's benefit. I do want to say it has been an honor to work with each and every one of you. I think once we got our bearings and got on the same page, there was so much that we were able to accomplish. And so we sat back and looked at that, and what does that look like, and what have we accomplished in the 4 years, and some of us 2 years since you guys got on. But guys, working together, we've been able to take a deficit budget and turn it into a surplus. That was huge. We completed the walking path that Rich started, and so that is finally completed, and I do believe in reimbursements, are those finished? With ODNR? Okay, so they're still working on the ODNR reimbursement. We are in the middle of renegotiating the CSO project, so we all sat here and said that'll never happen. Thank you, God, that is taking place. We've addressed basement flooding, discolored water, new leadership in the IPD. We've updated our water administration office to the 21st century where people can pay online. That was huge. We've updated our water policies. We've eliminated duplicate services where we took the health department, merged it with the county. We've established a slum and blight program. And with the help of the land bank, now that's over 70 structures that have been taken down. I believe last year, or this year, I've reported so far that we had like 154 citations. And so people are cleaning up their properties, Ironton looking good, and so I'm really excited about that program. I rewrote the entire MS4 manual. That is being shipped off tomorrow. That thing is that thick. So happy to hand that off to the EPA. We will, or you guys will wait on their response, because there will be a part where you guys will have to update the stormwater ordinances. So that is the final part of that MS4 manual. We are back in the RIP program. Is that correct? I don't want to say it wrong.
That's correct.
We are back in the RIP program with the Corps of Engineers. We were able to get the $1.8 million for the 5th Street Bridge project through the Municipal Bridge Grant. We did remove the underground storage tanks with Buster. We're back in good standings with the floodplain management. All of this, and we had 2 flood events in 18 and 19, so working with FEMA. So guys, I think we accomplished a lot in 4 years, and it has truly been an honor to work with each and every one of you. Did want to report.
Mayor, can I stop you just for a second?
You sure can.
Don't forget that your office coordinating with John's office, if you've already said this and I missed it, forgive me. The refinancing of the debt has saved the taxpayers millions of dollars with no extension of the time frame for repayment.
Yes.
Same time frame, literally saved millions.
Yes.
So don't leave that off your list.
And then the 2 years of the clean audit that we got, that was an amazing task as well in the finance department. Did want to tell you that Brett wanted me to report, we wanted to commend Ironton High School, the girls basketball program. Doug Graham has donated basketballs to our Little League, our basketball, so that they could have basketballs to play or to practice with before the season started. So he just wanted to thank IHS and Doug Graham for that donation. Please don't forget, Saturday is Small Business Saturday. Please, if you are in town, do your part and shop small businesses. We have a number of new businesses out there, and we've had businesses that's been here for 80 years, and please do your part to patron them and go in and purchase stuff from our local businesses. I talked about the MS4, I gave you the handout. And I am finished. Is there any questions for me before I take my seat?
So how do you want to raise your
Yeah.
Not a question, but I would like to publicly commend you for the job that you've done.
Absolutely.
In the
Thank you.
in the 2 years or whatever it is that I've been appointed. I have found you to be honest, hardworking, knowledgeable, and any time that we depended on you to meet with, I don't care if it was state officials, federal officials, local officials, and bring us back the information we needed to act on, in every single occurrence, I never had to question you. You were very knowledgeable, and it made our job a lot easier, and I want to say that it's been an honor to be associated with you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Ditto.
All right, guys. Good luck in the future. Continue moving this city forward. I still love this community. My kids and family and grandkids live here, so I know the hard work that you guys put into this. It's not, you know, something that you can just come in here twice a month. There's a lot of studying and a lot of, you know, research that takes place. So continue doing what you do, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else like to address the council? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Wilma Folksong, 1030 North 5th Street. I have a question about the cleaning up of Ironton, the residential. How are like if we have neighbors or see someone along, house that has garbage in front of it or in back of it or whatever, how are these, residents, right, how is the process completed?
You just call the office, we'll put you in contact with the public service director and get it in the right hands of the people that will go out and assess it and give them their citation.
Okay, so does somebody automatically go around periodically, or is it up to the residents of Ironton to notify someone?
Both. When we first started the program, on Fridays, they would go out and assess the community, and it was mostly done in the summertime, but we found out that we needed to do it more often.
Okay.
So we had the fire inspector goes out and assesses things, but if we don't see it, then you guys can report it, and then we will give that information to him. He'll go outside them, and they have so many days to get it cleaned up.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
Anybody else would like to address the council? Yes, sir.
Those folks on 1030 North Fifth Street, I live with her, but anyway.
He admits it.
I just want something clarified. A few months ago when we had the water bill raised, correct? Okay, that was for the water. Why do we get put on there for sewer and sewage and flood control? Why is that raised also? I was under the assumption it was just for water.
Well, it's based on volumes of water.
The flood fee was a separate issue that I was referring to a minute ago, that our flood pump stations were out of compliance with the Corps of Engineering, and we had no method, we had no financial revenue stream to address that without creating a new fee. I think what Rich was getting ready to say is that anytime you affect water, you affect the other funds also, because some of those funds are tied into water consumption.
But you're not, we got a bill, we got we got that extra charge, not for there's for the water we're going to normally use. We're not buying any more water. So why does that have to put on your flood and in your usage?
I'm not sure where you're.
Well, my water bill, my water, whatever, say $5.
Okay.
Why was it also put on the flood control and also the sewage?
The
I didn't
storm,
use
the
any more
storm,
water, I
the
just got
storm,
charged $5.
yeah, the storm and the
What we talked
sewage.
about last time. Okay.
I just got charged more, I didn't use more water, I'm just saying that, I just got charged more for the water I was using. So why was it also tacked onto sewage and flood control? Did your minutes, when you read that, I assume you had
Those three increase based upon consumption. So the more water you use, your sewer's gonna,
You're right.
And
But
store.
You're not, you didn't, I'm not using any more water.
so your
No,
storm and your
you're-
sewer should be the same.
What I'm saying is, that if I misunderstood, because I can't hear very well. Okay, I don't see how you can charge on water, okay? I understand that, no problem. But then, I look down, and also the storm, what does that water fee got to do with the storm? You know, this extra $5, how much, I don't know how much you put on.
Nothing.
And what's it got to do with your sewage, because you're not using any more water, you're not paying for that, you're paying for what you're actually getting. You know, you just add more water, more money, what you're adding, you won't do that.
Have you been to the water department and showed them your bill?
Pardon me?
Have you taken your bill to the water department and actually shown it to them?
My bill, or your bill, you got one too, you got your water, you pay for it, okay? We pay a fee on that. All right, understand fully, no sweat. Then look down to runoff, or what's it called? You know, then it's got that $5 fee on it. Why? I mean,
The
well, that
$5 fee for stormwater utility is to address the EPA unfunded Band-Aid of separating the storm sewers from the sanitary sewers.
Okay, but was that in your minutes? Was that set up in your
Ordinances.
your what?
It's set up in the ordinances.
Ordinance like
Uh-huh.
that?
Yes.
Okay, the same way, sure, I'm not gonna use any more. What my point was, I just wanna clarify my mind. I didn't know why I was charging $5 for sewer when I'm not using any more water.
Rate increase.
Pardon me?
Rate increase.
Rate increase on what?
There was a municipal fee, water went up, municipal fee went up, I believe sewer, I believe sewer went up.
Okay, I know sewer was there, but I got to think, wait a minute, I'm not using any water, I'm playing with that water, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
It's
I didn't-
measured off volume,
Yeah,
but it was
right.
rate increases that drove that increase. Rate increase per 1,000 gallons of
So
water used.
the water covers all that, right? The fee of the
Yes.
water is supposed to cover that.
No.
No.
For instance, and I'm just really throwing non-relative numbers. Your water went from $10 to $11. Okay, you used 3,000 gallons, so you would have been charged $30 before the rate went up
Yeah.
for 3,000 gallons, and 33 after it went up with the same amount of
Yeah.
usage. So that's where your increase is in the cost, the charge per 1,000 gallons. Did I answer?
But are you saying why is the storm not a flat fee and it's
Right,
tacked
well, yeah.
onto the water?
Right, well, it's tacked onto the water fee, and why isn't your sewage a flat fee, and it's tacked on your water?
It's all based on water usage.
Yeah.
The stormwater, the wastewater.
I understand, but is that tacked onto your fees you add on to?
It went up too. It increased also.
I know it did,
So-
but is that added on to your fees too, That extra $5, you don't use it, if you're gonna tell me I flush my John 5 or 6 more times, no. I do a X amount, I get charged, I read my meter and I keep track of it, and I know how much it is, that doesn't bother me. What I'm asking is, why is it tacked on to the sewage? It should have a separate thing then, it stated separate sewage, $5 good. I don't believe you had it like that, did you?
No, it's based on water consumption. I don't think that sewage is metered. Just
Oh.
water
It's
usage is metered. Sewage is not metered. So in order to come up with a formula, it's the number of thousands of gallons, which will probably show up on your bill as 3
Yes, I know, yes.
times water.
Yes.
Since sewage is not metered, that shows up as 3 also. Since stormwater is not metered, that shows up as 3 also.
Okay, but the thing I just couldn't get in my mind is the fact, the water, yes, I understand that. Sewage, I don't know.
Right.
And the runoff, what they've got to do with it.
Right, and I think the council has talked about that several times.
I didn't know that. And then I remember when you were reading your proposal, and I didn't think you put them together, or separate, I mean. I didn't think so. You just lumped them all under water.
Just
They've always been
usage.
separated.
They're all
I know they're separated, but I mean, when you go pay that bill, you go down and ask somebody, they don't know about the storm. I don't know what to talk about this. They don't know about the storm, so the first thing they think is the water.
Right,
And what's the fee on water? Okay, well then, you should have, at least I wish that you told me, hey, we put all those together, whoever voted on what you do, you put them together to make your.
the theory behind that is what you use ends up going down
What
to
I
be
use,
processed.
I'll pay for it, don't mind them a bit.
So if you're using 3,000 gallons of water, if you wash your hands
Yes.
and leave the water running when you
Yes,
wash your
yes,
hands,
yes.
That's just how everything gets measured. That then goes into the sewer pipes and gets processed. So the theory is 3,000 gallons in, 3,000 gallons out.
Okay, but the raise, okay, the fee that was put on, okay, did I use more water?
No,
I got charged that fee, right?
yes,
Okay, did I use more sewage?
no. You use sewage based on water.
I didn't use any more.
Right. But the
Okay.
price went up.
Yeah,
The
but
price of water.
the price to run the plant went up,
Well,
and we gotta pay for those expenses.
I just didn't understand that, you know.
You come in and talk to me anytime.
I couldn't see that, it was something I wasn't using.
Yes,
I mean,
I understand.
Yeah, and then, but then I guess that's the EPA thing that was it.
That's a lot of it.
Yeah, right.
Stormwater
Let's get back to
separation.
the council meeting. Jim, you have something?
I agree with you that people don't understand, so under the umbrella of transparency, I want to reiterate what I've been saying all along, before the election and after the election. The same message is, expect to see a lot more increases in the near future, because as I've stated, it doesn't matter who the mayor is or who council is. We have an $11 million additional debt that we're gonna have to borrow. It'll be funded through the stormwater utility we're talking about, because we have to proceed with phase 4 and 5 with the federal EPA. And there's no method of paying for that $11 million debt that'll have to be borrowed other than passing it on to the citizens. In the near future, there will also be more increases in the sewage, because we estimate that renovating the Dennis, Mike, stop me if I'm wrong, to renovate the plant is probably $10 million that we don't have funding for. To build a new sewer plant would be about $20 million that we don't have funding for. In addition to that, in the near future, now this might be 5 years down the line, we have no control over it, but I hope the citizens realize that a third of our water sales, a third of our total water sales, we sell to Hector Water, and they turn around and sell it to their customers. And they're going to build their own filtration plant. So when our revenue comes down by a third, we'll have to up the rate to offset that, no matter who's on council, no matter who the mayor is. In addition to that, we've got a $600,000 to $900,000 problem, Michael, at the water treatment plant that's going to have to be addressed. There's no method of paying that other than to up the ante. So the only thing I'm trying to say is, under the umbrella of transparency, there's going to be a lot more big utility increases, no matter who is sitting on these seats.
I just wanted to, it was word strange to me. You know, if you said, hey, this bill, this fee we were gonna have, it's covering these three right here. If I don't think I ever mentioned to the public like that, was it?
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I'm a little slow, but
We can't control what goes in the paper and what doesn't.
well, I mean, even here, that's the way you look.
We've talked about it a million times.
It's my fault, I wasn't here then.
Various committee meetings, council meetings. Does anybody here disagree with any of that? It's
Well,
just, it's an overwhelming, huge problem.
Well, I'm not down there, I wouldn't have it. But I just said, if you said that, no big deal, I don't think anything about it then. But I gotta think, wait a minute. You know, it doesn't.
When I first started my career with the city, I had a full head of hair.
I see where you, yeah, look, I just live on one street. Trying to keep it clean.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time, I
Thanks, sir.
appreciate it, I didn't mean to take up too much time.
Anybody else like to address the city council, sir? Yes, sir.
How's it going? My name's Travis Puckett. I'm a business agent for the Carpenters Union, and I don't live at 1031 Fifth Street. I live in Sutter County, I actually live in West Portsmouth, but the reason I'm here is I do represent a lot of members from my union that reside in the city of Ironton and throughout Lawrence County, so I just want to kind of come and talk tonight with some issues, concerns that I had, and I guess it worked out here in the dead of the city. I mean, you hear rumors, but until you show up to a city council meeting, you don't realize how desperate and dire things are sometimes, but I guess it's gonna turn out maybe there's a way that we can try to help you guys a little bit as far as things that we do with the Carpenters Union. Obviously, everything revolves around tax revenue. There's a shortfall of money, and I know that just like him getting an increase on his water bill, nobody likes to see that. But one of the main reason I'm here is you guys have a project that's getting ready, it's already started, kicked off down here in Ironton, the Marriott Hotel, with MPH as your developer. I've done something what we call early intervention on our side of the business. About a year ago, I reached out to MPH with a rain given, trying to get local contractors the opportunity to bid on that work with the hopes of people from Ironton, Lawrence County, the surrounding areas, an opportunity to work on that project. With that being said, we like to see local people in these projects because it's going to generate the tax revenue. People's going to buy gas here, they're going to shop here, they live here. Long story short, here recently, trying to reach out to different people within PH and throughout different agencies in Ironton here, we found out that the contractor it's our belief that the contractor they're going to utilize out of North Carolina. Through our work and our efforts in the past on projects, tracking them down through, most of us understand that when you have a contractor that's coming in from that far out of town, more than likely, in our experience, we found out that those contractors don't come into an area to pay their taxes, to pay their workers' comp, to pay their unemployment. Generally, what winds up happening, in our opinion, is they 1099 all their employees. Each one of them is an individual 1099 subcontractor. And for the city of Ironton, I mean, listen, you guys are $11 million in debt, plus another $600,000, and you're raising their water bill and sewer bill $5 a month. I think if the city if there was someone we could work with or talk to try to see, I guess my question is, I'm wondering if there's any tax money or TIF money or tax abatement that's been put in with MPH to try to entice them to come here. Because if that's money that's put out there that taxpayers are paying for, they're not going to get it back. And if we do discover, and like I said, this is all our opinion, if we discover that there is some wrongdoing going on in that project, my question is, in the city of Ironton, what kind of enforcement do you guys have as far as people paying their taxes? Workers' comp, unemployment, and if so, who do we talk to if we discover this?
We had the same issue when they built new schools in our city. At the time, the finance director would go, and code enforcement, I believe, would go to the job sites, okay, and talk with the foreman or whatever, and to get to all that information. Now, what we ran into as well was, you know, if I know somebody that's working down there, John Smith, I can't go to my finance director and say, I need to know if John Smith is paying taxes down here at the new hotel.
Right.
You know, that's not allowed to do that. But they can say the company is in compliance. So I would recommend, sir, that you would contact our finance director, John Elam, sitting right behind you there, right there. And
Gotcha.
he can kind of lead you through.
Okay. Now, I guess the other question is, do you know, you guys being city council, is there tax abatements or tax money, TIF money that's been given to MPH to come to Ironton?
A tax man, I'm not aware of. I think there was some grant money through.
Community action?
Yeah, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, see, I've talked to DR about that, and they've
Okay.
given their CSPG money to do the civil work, which was under prevailing wage, which
Right.
did go to local contractor, but from there up, because, and just to make you guys aware, our job is when we discover these things, because what we'll do, I mean, I know you guys are governed by laws, you can't do this, can't do that, well, it's a little different for us. So if I find those carpenters that they bring in from North Carolina, and I talk to them, and I try to organize those guys, or gals, whatever it may be, and they explain to me that they are being taken advantage of by being 1099, all subcontractors, at that point, we will make it it's my job to make the public aware of what's going on. So I just basically want to come and let the city council know where they need to come.
Appreciate that information there. And and hopefully that doesn't happen, but you know more about it than I do. I've experienced that same thing before.
Gotcha.
What was your name again?
Trampus Puckett, Trampas, Puckett.
Alright, okay. We appreciate that information, and again, please get with Mr. Johnny.
Okay.
Okay?
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else that would like to address the city council this evening before we move on to communications? If not, we'll move on. All right, we're down to communications. We have a letter from Mayor Key to reappointment of
Thank you.
Paul Hill Riley to the Metro Housing Authority. And a letter from the Department of Commerce, Division of Liquor Control regarding liquor permits, and a letter from the National Organization regarding housing. Do I have any questions? Submit. Receive and file for the minutes or motion to accept these.
I'll make a motion to receive, file, and make part of the minutes, all three communications.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Great.
Look, I'm used to looking at those liquor control letters and it has some kind of business or address. That's not the case. It's just regarding.
I didn't even see this one, so I'm not sure.
Okay.
Great. I think that was just a notice to say that every liquor permit within our jurisdiction comes due in February. And if we have somebody that we have been having a problem with and we want to object to it prior, we can notify them.
Request a
and
hearing.
red flag.
Request a hearing.
Yes.
So in addition to filing and making part of the minutes, we'd have to add a no, request no.
Well, I don't know if this is that letter or not, Craig. I know what you're talking about. I think this is what he said.
The notices that are generally received are for new licenses or changes. But what they're doing here is giving you a vehicle to object to a renewal.
Yeah, I know that the letter we usually get is from a certain address, and they're
We have to
asking us
request
if we
a hearing.
want to request a hearing about a hearing. I think this is just a,
We have to get one through.
And it says here, you have to do it through a resolution. Used to, you could just have the clerk of council say, we request a hearing. But now it has to be a resolution. The law director has to give an opinion that we think there's a legal basis for the objection under the statute. So it's more.
So we don't have to waive a hearing any longer, is what you're saying?
Right.
Okay.
But if we don't request a hearing, then they approve them unless they've got other reasons they don't.
I believe this is one of those letters that we request a hearing. Review that.
That's all I have.
Yeah, this is a little different than what this letter is, because this is when there's going to be a change of ownership. And this applies to every permit holder that's having to renew their license. They're saying, we're giving you the opportunity, city council, if you're having problems with any permit holder in town that you want to object to, you can pass a resolution stating that, what your objection is, and then the city attorney has to give an opinion that there's a legal basis for the objection. You send that to the liquor department, and then they'll schedule a hearing, which we would have to attend and voice the objection.
No response to this at this time. All right, so we,
That was just discussion.
roll call.
Blankenship.
Aye.
Cleary.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
O'Leary.
Aye.
Chris. Torrey.
Aye. We have no reports. We're down to ordinances. Clerk, please read ordinance 1979, first reading.
Authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract for health insurance coverage for the employees of the city of Ironton and declaring an emergency for first reading.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was late to the finance committee meeting. Is there a deadline
They said that 5.3%.
I don't know that.
No, there's no deadline. The thing is, we wanna make sure, if we don't wanna take the no-shop number, which would take the rate back to the 17.56% instead of the 5.3 we got them down to, we do need time to shop it, and we need to get it out of here quickly, because I don't want to get council behind the 8 ball running up against our February 1 renewal.
Okay.
Clerk, please read ordinance 1974, second reading.
Establishing consumer price index increase on an annual basis for all city usage rates, fees, and permit charges, second reading.
Clerk, please read ordinance 1975, second reading.
Establishing and levying a municipal motor vehicle license fee pursuant to section 4504.171 of the Ohio Revised Code and declaring an emergency, second reading.
Clerk, please read ordinance 1976, second reading.
Establishing a vacant property utility fee, second reading.
Okay, we're down to resolutions. Clerk, please read resolution 1978.
To accept the ODOT Municipal Bridge Program funds for the North Fifth Street Bridge project.
Discussion, or,
Good.
something that I talked to John Link about today, like I said earlier, and I would just like the minutes to reflect, John, you correct me if you think differently. It needs to be understood by everybody that, we have until December the what? 13th to, by passing this tonight, it's not obligating us to come up with $400,000.
Correct.
You're going to, you and the finance committee will be trying to rework the budget to determine if in fact we can come up with that as our share. If we can't, we simply don't execute the contract and it's null and void.
Yes.
Good, Mike.
I would like to add, we did mention this in finance, the construction for this project would be fiscal year 2023. So it's not like you're going to need the money. I know you have to budget for it, but the fees to the city are right-of-way or property acquisition, engineering, design engineering, and preliminary engineering, environmental, and then also 5% of construction. That money would be spread out over the time period between beginning of 2020 and beginning of 2023, and then the balance to cover the construction of 2023.
I would just like to state for the minutes that it's my opinion that those monies would have to be encumbered right now. We could not obligate future councils. We couldn't say, well, we'll come up with $100,000 in a purchase order right now, and we'll worry about the rest later on. It's my opinion there would have to be a purchase order encumbering the monies that they're available right now by December the 13th in order for us to. Your point's well taken, Michael. I understand what you're saying. But it would have to be encumbered and set aside now. Do you see any different, John?
No, at least the portion of it that is the city's obligation to design the right-of-way, et cetera.
That's what I'm
yes.
talking about, $400,000.
Yes.
And please don't forget that there is a water line that goes through this bridge that feeds the entire north end. So, I don't think it's a project that you can just sweep under the rug.
Yeah, anybody that hasn't gone down there and walked across that bridge needs to do so.
Yes.
We have a motion. Nate.
Motion to pass resolution 1978.
Second. Motion and a second to adopt resolution 1978. Any more discussion? Roll call.
Blankenship.
Aye.
Cleary. Harvey.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
O'Leary. Reese.
Resolution 1978 passes. We are down to miscellaneous. Anything I have to say?
I'll
I'd just like to, just take a couple minutes, I wanna say thank you, to you, Rich, for leading us, and all of your service for the city. I mean, you put a lot of time and your heart into it, and, you helped me along, it's been new. So, I'd like to thank you, and, Jim, Chuck, same thing, thank you for your service. It's been a pleasure working with you guys, and, I'm always welcome to hear your inputs and pick your mind on things, so I know you guys have a lot of experience. Mayor, thank you very much for your service. It's been a pleasure working with you. I know we've kind of worked a little bit here and there on some different projects and some things that maybe laid the groundwork and hopefully will come to fruition. So hopefully we plant some seeds and just keep watering. So thank you.
Thanks, Mayor. God bless you. Jim?
And in case I didn't at the last meeting, I want to thank everybody for the two appointments over the last couple of years. I really appreciate it. I've enjoyed it very much.
All right. I'm gonna have the last word here. One more last time. Thank you all for allowing me to serve the city of Ironton. The people, this city has allowed us to do this. And it's a tough job. And the new guys, Mr. Hawk, Mr. Haney, Mr. Pierce, and Mr. Cramble, you got your job cut out for you. And I wish you all the best of luck. I really do. If I can ever be of service to you, please do not hesitate to contact me. It's just a tough job, and people, when you get in here and you find out the meat and potatoes of this, it's pretty tough. But somebody's got to do it. I mean, and I'm glad that I was part for 14 years. So I'm gonna walk out on this, and meeting is adjourned. Hurry up.
I just wanted to wish you guys good luck.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Roll call. We got a motion second to adjourn.